I want to let in more light. Is that all right? If you must. Now, Defarge asks Mr. Manet that he wanted to let more light in the dark room. So, if you must, and for that, Dr. Manet, he responded that if he could. Defarge pulled the ragged curtain slightly. The old man on the bench was now clearly visible. He had a long white beard and a pale, hollow face with very bright blue eyes. His shirt lay open at the neck, and it was possible to see that his body was all bone with just a thin layer of skin covering it. He put up a hand in to his eyes, and the bones seemed almost transparent. Defarge approached him. So, when he asked for the light into the room, so Defarge pulled the ragged torn curtain slightly, and when that ragged curtain it was pulled, so the old man it was clearly visible there. So and the old man he had long white beard and pale hollow face, but eyes were very bright blue colored eyes. His shirt it was lay open at the neck, and through that his body was clearly visible how he had grown very thin. He was grown so thin that his bones could be clearly seen, as there was a thin layer of the skin. Okay, so and he put up a hand to his eyes, and the bones seemed almost transparent. Here, almost transparent means the skin that covered the bone that was almost gone. He had grown so weak. Okay, Defarge approached him, came closer. You have a visitor. What's that? A visitor. Now he told Dr. Manet that anybody had come to visit him. For that, he responded, what's that? A visitor. Defarge told him that a visitor. The shoemaker looked up towards the man Defarge was pointing to. He did not let go of the shoe he was working on. So shoemaker, he looked up at the man whom Defarge was pointing, but he did not give up his work. He continued his work. That's fine shoe. Show it to the gentleman. Mr. Lorry looked carefully at the shoe. So Defarge, he was talking to Dr. Manet and told him to show the shoe to the gentleman he was pointing. So Mr. Lorry, he looked at the shoe very carefully. What kind of shoe is it, sir? The old man thought for a moment. What's that? So after that he asked for the kind of the shoe. For that the old man remained quiet and he thought, what's that? And after that he questioned, what's that? The shoe, who is it for and who made it? Jarvis Lorry, he inquired from Dr. Manet about the shoe and asked him for whom he was making and who was making the shoe. It's a young lady's walking shoe. For that, Dr. Manet responded that the shoe for a young lady. Defarge repeated Mr. Lorry's last question and the maker's name. There was silence for a moment while the old man's empty eyes tried to look out through the windows of his inner world. Inner world means to say he was there with himself only. So for that question, for the maker's name, he remained silent and he was looking out of the window to find out the answer from inner side, that who is the maker of the shoe. Did you ask for my name? I did. 105 North Tower. Is that all? 105 North Tower. So Dr. Manet, he responded to Jarvis Lorry. He could not tell his name, just he spoke the figures 105 North Tower, 105 North Tower here. So Mr. Lorry looked sadly at the old man to whom he had once been so close. Only the old man's bright blue eyes had not changed. The rest of him was unrecognizable. Mr. Lorry tried to trigger a memory. So when Mr. Lorry he got that response from Dr. Manette, he became very sad. Okay, and then because he thought that this was the only man with whom he was very close once. Okay, only the old man's bright eyes had lost the change, had not changed. Only his eyes, they were the same, but rest of the body, it was not recognizable, not identified. Okay, and then Mr. Lorry tried to trigger a memory. He put some stress on the memory. You're not a shoemaker by trade. No, I asked them to let me learn. I have been making shoe ever since. For that, Mr. Lorry, he asked a question to Dr. Manette that he was not a shoemaker. Then Dr. Manette, he responded that he was not, but he asked them to learn this one, and then from that time he was making the shoe here. The old man returned to his work as if retreating into his own world, but Mr. Lorry persisted. Now at this, the old man, after listening all this, he returned to his work as if retreating into his own world, means came back into his own world where he was sitting and making the shoes there. Mr. Manette, do you remember me? The old man looked up. Lorry put his hand on Defarge's arm. Don't you recognize your old servant here and your old banker? So he was just convincing him to recognize him as well as Miss Manette. So the old man looked up and Lorry put his hand on Defarge's arm. Don't you recognize your old servant and your old banker here? The old man looked at them blankly as Defarge took Mr. Lorry by arm and led him aside. So the old man, Dr. Manette, he looked at them, looked at them blankly, means he could not remember anything. So do you recognize him, monsieur? So monsieur is a French word that is used for respect. At first I wasn't sure, but now I'm certain it's he. All right. While Defarge and Lorry were talking, Miss Manette had silently walked over to the bench and sat beside the old man. At first, he did not notice her, but slowly he stopped working on the shoe and stared at the tears streaming from her eyes. And then they both were talking with each other. Miss Manette, silently she came to her father and sat on the bench by the old man's side. At first, the old man he did not recognize, but when he saw the tears, they were rolling down from her eyes, he stopped working and stared at her. What's this? Hearing her father's voice, her hand trembled at her lips. Are you the jailer's daughter? No, she sighed. So when Mr. Manette, he saw the tears, so he asked. And when Miss Manette, she heard the voice of her father, her lips and hands, they just trembled there. And he inquired if she was the daughter of the jailer. No, she sighed here. She took a deep breath here and said no. Then the old man took the piece of string from round his neck